Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the World Cup DFS show. I'm Nolan Kelly here, as always, with Giovanni Vidal breaking down World Cup action for Saturday between the U.S. Argentina and no, sorry, U.S. Netherlands and Argentina Australia. We got a two gamers, and we are just going to be having two gamers for the rest of the World Cup until the semis. Giovanni, what's happening?
No, it's all good. The four gamers ended, so kind of a bummer. But I'm sure that at least as long as the U.S. is alive, there'll be some massive showdown slates. So hopefully they can keep rolling.
That's the thing. We see some uptick in views on all of our content when the U.S. is live. So I think we just selfishly want to keep them going as much as possible too. So let me just pull up our sponsor here as well before we get into the action. No House Advantage, $50 instant deposit match. We love these guys over at No House Advantage. They got overlay. They got pick'em contests where you can take advantage of that overlay and make money off of it. They're basically just handed money to you. $50 free sign up bonus attached to this. Please click the link, sign up, and take that free $50. And they also have World Cup bets where you can put together over-unders to cash out up to 21 times your entry. So make sure to check them out if you haven't already. A really great site. We like them a lot. All right, let's get into it. So we got a two-gamer tomorrow. We are going to go through each of the games like we've been doing for the World Cup. We'll also have a little bit of emphasis on the showdown slates because those showdown slates are going to start getting bigger with just one game on each side. And as well, I will show the projections here in a minute, but we do have tabs now on our projections that show the showdown projections too. So you'll be able to access that if you sign up for a package. As well, we do have a new deal right now, 3 days free if you sign up for Soccer Weekly. Link is also in the description. So if you just want to try it out, check it out. It's a great way to come on in the door and come into Discord, say hi to everybody, and get some World Cup projections as well. And we got ownership now too. So Giovanni, give me your quick rundown of what this slate is going to look like for you. Any first thoughts, first impressions? How are you going to attack it?
I think it's going to have to be heavy on the Argentina side, and then a mix and match some sides from the Netherlands and the U.S. I doubt Australia is going to be able to handle. They'll put up a fight, but I doubt they're going to be able to handle Argentina. Argentina already got their scare early on, so
I've been saying that about Australia all tournament long, and they have screwed me over every single time. So they have like the least talented squad, I think, in the World Cup. Like, it's terrible, but I don't know how they keep doing it. Well, let's get into the USA and Netherlands because that is the first game on the slate. Netherlands minus 105 favorites. I forgot to look this up before we got on the air, but there is a flu going through the Netherlands, I believe. Was it you who told me that? I can't remember, but the Netherlands might have the flu. I will look into that while Giovanni is talking about the game. And USA plus 350 as well. Let's take a look at the Netherlands side first. So Cody Gakpo, 1.82 value, 17 points. He's scored, I believe, in every single game. He's looked fantastic. Really safe play, and we'll get a ton of ownership. Frankie de Jong also scored last game. Really good value here. Denzel Dumfries, just sort of the usual suspects here. Memphis Depay, Daley Blind, Virgil van Dijk. Talk to me about the Netherlands side. What are you doing here? How much do you like him relative to Argentina?
I like Argentina more. The Netherlands are going to be popular on a two-gamer. I mean, fading or just taking one-offs from the Netherlands side alone is going to be different enough because they're going to draw a lot of ownership. The main focus, even if I was trying to get different and only wanted one piece from the Netherlands side, it would be Cody Gakpo.
Makes sense. Anybody else? Any other thoughts on these strikers? Memphis Depay, Steven Berghaus.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, now that Depay has ran a significant amount of minutes, I think he's good to go. Unless he's one of the ones that has the flu. I know that a number of them have the flu. I don't see why unless it's that severe, I don't see why they wouldn't be going. I mean, they don't have like a light matchup to start the elimination rounds. But Depay has at least a shot volume, so his floor is not as high and not as trustworthy anymore, only because Hackbo has been taking the corners even when Depay has ran his 45 minutes and his 60 minutes. But Depay does shoot at will, and he's very versatile. He'll come back and pick up the ball, so he's not dependent on somebody delivering it to him and trying to get on the end of the crosses or waiting for that to try to finish. He'll come get it, and then in open play, he'll take his shots. So out of goal-dependent forwards, he's definitely the best one. His asking price is tough to get to. I mean, I try to find a way to build it, and in the two-gamer, it's hard to fit Hackbo, Depay with like Messi. Like you're really I don't even think it can be done. I couldn't find it without like straight punting min priced projected line of people the rest of the way. But yeah, the Netherlands they're not as they're. I think that if the U.S. didn't put on such a solid performance in the group stage, even against England, I think the Netherlands would have came in here as like a minus 200. So I do think that this game will go to extra time, though. So be careful with the. I believe that on DraftKings that eliminates the clean sheet. So Turner's price is up. So, but I'm not going to be getting to no part the keeper. I know he will be popular. He's a favorite and the cheaper keeper of the favorites. So on DraftKings, usually that will draw a little bit more ownership than the favored keeper. So overall, it's Hackbo as a one-off. But if you want to pair him, the only ones that haven't been rotated out that, like even when they need to score goals, Denzel Dumfries still on the wing, but he hasn't gotten the shot volume that like how we were used to him back in the
those like wing backs or the defenders, they just haven't really been doing much in this squad this time, and that was like the total opposite when during the Euros, right?
Yep. GBP also I would add in just because they're not cheap, but they're low enough for pairing with Hackbo that have been involved. Frankie De Jong or David Klaassen.
Makes sense. All right, let's move it over to the USA side. Serginho Dest looked fantastic. He's just jumping up into play. Seems like a really good value. I'm sure he will pull his fair share of ownership. Christian Pulisic looks like he's good to go for tomorrow. Everyone's just kind of assuming. I would assume that unless something weird happens, he would try to play as much as possible. Timothy Weah, Anthony Robinson, the usual suspects here. Weston McKennie shipping up as a pretty bad value overall. Looks like nothing changing here too much here, other than Sargent possibly not starting for the club, but or for the team. But what do you see here that might be different from Iran, and how are you attacking it if Sargent is out in that traditional 9 spot?
Well, I mean, I think that the U.S. will approach it like the England match that they absorbed a little bit in the first half, and then started taking their chances, and they do have the youth and the energy to play that way. It's just they're going to have to withstand a barrage of chances from the Netherlands. So Pulisic, I think if he goes, barring another injury in play, I don't see why he wouldn't run the entire match and even extra time. I think if he had something that was concerning, he would not start and come off the bench.
Yeah,
but,
I think you go.
Yeah,
I'm going to go like just probably way over the field here and hope people are scared off. Though I'm guessing that he will still be overowned just because USA players, USA DFSers will still want to own him, right?
Yeah, that's the hard part with him. I mean, we'll get into like a showdown conversation about that. But Sargent, I still can't get to. It doesn't matter his price. He is running the risk of being pulled depending on the strategy. If they end up scoring early and they pull him back, or if they need help attacking, he's going to come off for like a Haji Wright, or maybe even a Gio Reyna, Brandon Aronson, even though we haven't seen Gio Reyna come on. Timothy Weah, I think, is a good GPP play because he's priced to a point where he's going to get overlooked. I mean, in the forward spot, there's too many pay-up options. Even if you wanted to move Pulisic and Hackbo to the midfield, you still have in this two-gamer choices from the Argentina side. And Weah is not afraid to shoot. I mean, he's taking the chances. He's coming close. He does have one goal at least in the tournament, and that helped him build the confidence to keep shooting. But the value is got to be a Serginho Dest, just because, again, the defensive metrics, he will get challenged on that side with Memphis Depay. I don't know if the Depay injury is still lingering on him. Maybe that helps Dent to get some more interceptions or one tackles, and then on the open play, we see that he'll deliver. He's not scared to just throw up the
mix.
Yeah.
What are the odds USA pulls out a win here? What do you think? Do you think they got a shot?
Well, for on the straight money line, my model has it as a 280. So, but it also has the Netherlands as a plus 160 on the money line. So that's why I think it's going to be an extra time game.
Gotcha.
I think
that's good value then. If we got them at plus 350, you might want to hop over to BetMGM. Maybe take your free $200 from the link below. Use that money. Bet on your team. What could be better than betting on your country? Bet on your country. BetMGM. Free $200. No brainer. And the deal, because apparently, according to Giovanni's model, 350, 280 seems like pretty good price to me.
Yeah, I actually I'm gonna be betting probably even after the show, but I just didn't get to it yet. But I'm gonna be betting the US win draw double.
You better hurry, because as soon as people see this, they're gonna be like rushing, and that line's gonna move. So, all right, we're gonna just quickly talk about Showdown here for each game moving forward. So, what's your strategy for Showdown? By the way, you can see above. You can see those tabs right there. We are now uploading projections for both FanDuel and DraftKings Showdown, so make sure to check that out. What kind of roster construction are you doing here? I know when we've talked about Showdown in the past, you like it for GPPs. You like to possibly throw a goalie in as a contrarian play. I would say everything is on the table with Soccer Showdown. Like last year, for example, I'm pretty sure the Champions League final had Thibaut Courtois and the captain and like 5 Liverpool players or something, right? Like anything is on the table, because if you get a 0-0 game and the goalie from the opposing side, the team that has all the possession wins, it's actually a viable strategy, which is not something you see very often, say in like NFL. So that's something to consider. Any other general Showdown points that people should be aware of, or like roster construction techniques?
Yeah, I mean, usually when you see one team as a favorite but not a heavy favorite, you'll see the main build be a 4-2. When both teams on the money line are a plus, you'll see 3-3s as the most common builds. So in this case, I imagine once I run ownership that and from seeing Showdowns to this kind of odds discrepancy in the past, I imagine that Noppert from the keeper from Netherlands is, as a flex, is going to come in around like 30-35% and will probably be around 7 to 8% in the captain spot, whereas the plus 300 odds for the US, I can see Turner in the flex coming in at around 15 to 22%, and maybe 1 or 2% tops in the captain spot. And yeah, like you said, anything, especially with 150 max, I believe is the Showdown for at least the USA Netherlands one on DraftKings. So you're gonna have to go wherever you take your stance. You're gonna have to go way over the field on. The only thing I noticed when I was trying to build some lineups just to get an idea of the pricing of the Showdown before the show was you cannot fit basically Hackbo Depay or Pulisic, one of them three in the captain spot, without completely punting to center backs, like with at least 2 of your other spots. So
Yeah.
I mean, people will try to do it, but it's really going to limit your upside.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a lot of center back goals or a clean sheet, and a clean sheet for both teams helps Hackbo and Pulisic because they're going to be on the set pieces, but it doesn't help Memphis Depay or
Right.
Depay
Makes
rather.
sense. So I'd say like just talking a little bit about roster construction, I would say like center backs tend to be like kind of the worst options, but you will get some that can score. And so like I think later on in the tournament, I am going to be targeting some in the captain spot as a contrarian move. Like Virgil van Dijk will move up for corners. Harry Maguire has been really active for England on corners. Guys like that where you're like, if you can get a low price center back and they happen to get a goal, that can be really good for your roster construction because then you can just fill your roster with whatever you want. Of course, it doesn't always work out, but that's an option. Do you tend to like play game script lineups? So you will like stack 2 defense with a goalie in your flex spots, hope for those clean sheet bonuses, and then worry about the rest of your lineup later.
Yeah, especially if I were using a center back from a team, I would take their keeper also because the center back is usually dead if there's a goal scored anyways. Because think about
Yeah.
it, the cheapest center back, like I think in this DraftKings lineup, well, in general in showdowns on DraftKings, the cheapest player is going to be 3,000 regardless, and so the cheapest center back's usually coming in at like 3,200. So the clean sheet's 3 points. That already is going to put you at like the 1%. Like you need him to do a lot from the center back role, which is not common based on the DraftKings scoring system. You need him to get like shot on goal or 4 to 5 1 tackles without committing a foul in order for him to actually help you without the clean sheet. So you might as well throw the goalie in it as well.
Right, makes sense. And I think forwards as well, like if you have traditional strikers, they tend to not obviously have the peripherals for that captain spot, but they also have the highest upside. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're building. Like if you're doing a Harry Kane, in the captain spot, or in this case, maybe it's Yakpo in the captain spot, they're probably going to need. I actually like he had really good peripherals last game, so I shouldn't say that. But certain forwards will not have good peripherals, and you're very goal reliant. And if you're goal reliant on them, then you want to build your lineup accordingly with that. So something to keep in mind as you're building your lineups. But let's get into this final game of the day. Argentina minus 475 favorites. Australia plus 13. I've been saying all along that Australia is awful and that I can't believe they've made it this far. But here we go. What are you doing with the Australian side? Looks like we do have a couple good values, including Milos Degenek. I can't even say it. Degenek, 3,000, 6.23 value or 6.23 points. Craig Goodwin, 8,100, and Aaron Moy, who was a great value to start, is now way down at the bottom. How much Australia will we be getting to tomorrow?
Not a lot, and the same thing with the last slate that they're on. I thought Milos projected out really well. The last slate, I think he was like one of the top 3 value plays, and he did way better than even the projections. I think it helped that Australia got a clean sheet for him, but he is a good defender. He's not going to be pushing up and getting crosses. I mean, I don't even think Australia is going to have the opportunity to. I think their approach is going to be to try to catch Argentina on the counter punches, or try to see this game out as long as they can and see if they can take it to penalties and win it that way. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibilities for heavy underdogs to as an approach. And you've seen it in like the Europa League, you've seen it in the Champions League that underdogs have success doing playing those strategies when it's games that go to penalty shots.
Makes sense. Matthew Ryan in goal, 3,600. That's a contrarian play. I think if you're gonna do that, you probably want to stack up the Netherlands game and the Netherlands USA, maybe a couple Argentinians as well, like, or you could just go naked Messi. But there's a possibility he's going to see a lot of shot volume here, so I like him just maybe as a like. I'm not super worried about playing players against him. Are you in the same mindset?
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can worry about playing players because you only have 4 keepers, and and easily any of these keepers that see 3+ shots can allow a goal, because the best keepers are still only saving the ball like 71% of the time. So once you start getting to 4 shot range, you're liable to give up a goal. So Ryan is just as fine, and he does save a lot of salary if you're trying to stack
Salary
up.
saver, and like as you can see, these medium projections are just 5,900 for 7.41 points, and 3,600 6.55, right? So it does make a lot of sense to kind of punt at the position, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah, because the projections don't take into account clean sheets, because clean sheets are not. It's not. We've seen it a good amount of times in this World Cup, but they're not. It's not like it's such a viable outcome. Even
Right.
you see minus 1,000 teams, like the team that was like minus 1,000, whatever, Germany, they allowed a goal. So
Right.
it only projects like the shot volume save and a win bonus if they're projected to win. But
All
but
right.
yeah, no. So anything else from Australia would be Goodwin is fine because he has set shares and his open play is pretty good. Drawn fouls, assisted shots. I think his floor is good. His upside is limited, in my opinion. Lecky's the same way. I think Lecky's group stage performance might have people taking some shots on him. I will not be one of them. Mitchell Duke is goal dependent, and I don't think Argentina is going to allow a goal personally. So Milos is fine for me. Ryan is fine for me. I don't think you need both because, like I said, it's 2 games, and taking 2 is still taking 2. Is taking upside at the defender spot away. You're really just straight goal hunting. Then at that point, you need your forwards that you take to outperform any keepers or defenders that would be in line for the clean sheet, because you're assuming Ryan and Milos are not getting that clean sheet bonus.
Right. Makes sense to me. Argentina, Lionel Messi, lock button. I'm going to guess you're pretty close to that. He's going to be your most owned player. I don't even need to ask anymore. I just know. 22.82 points, 2.09 value, $10,900. Julian Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, Rodrigo de Paul, Alexis McAllister, who scored last game. What are we doing here? Let's just also quickly go over, I think, subs that happened last year. They were up there last week. They were up 2-0. And I believe we saw Alvarez and Angel Di Maria come off in like the 70th minute. So those are possibly some candidates to get subbed off, but Messi is probably not one of those unless they're up big. So what are your thoughts on Argentina?
Yeah, I think Argentina's they're not gonna like try to see like they're not gonna try. I think they're gonna go for it as basically it. Like go for goals. They're not gonna try to get hit on a counter and then worry about chasing or finding a goal. They're gonna, I think, push for like 2-3 goals quickly, and there is a reason like for them to do that. One, this is, if they get down 3 goals, they're going to be demoralized, and it would allow for Argentina to start making subs and keeping players fresh for upcoming matches. I think that Angel Di Maria is gonna be available off the bench in case for some reason they can't find goals. Then he can come in and being the spark. But I think they're confident enough that they can keep him on the bench and get him rested. Again, he's one of their older players, and Julian Alvarez is electric in his own right. I do think Alvarez will take some indirect sets, some corner shares. When Angel Di Maria has been there, Messi hasn't really been taking the corners. Di Maria has been taking on his side, which is expected. That's how they usually run. But even Marcos Acuna has taken some from Messi. I think Julian Alvarez will take on his side. Messi can take some depending on where he lines up in contrast to Julian Alvarez. Lautaro Martinez has not had a good run. He has he hasn't been able to finish, but he is getting on the end of some touches. He's just shooting them wide and getting a little unlucky. I think people will stay away from him. His price is not down, but I do like some shots on that. As especially like as a cheaper goal hunting option to the ownership that Memphis Depay is gonna get, and that way you're allowed to pivot one of your wingers to say Julian Alvarez or Lionel Messi. As far as the backline goes, DePaul does take some set, some indirect. They're mixing and matching, so he has at least the better floor out of the three midfielders. Goal hunting, McAllister, I think recency bias people might come in on it. He doesn't have a favorable price, and he is going to be goal dependent. So I might be under whatever the ownership comes in. I'll be under on it. DePaul, I'm going to stay under as well. Enzo Fernandez under. I think for me, it's going to be any mix of Messi, Martinez, and Alvarez with one of Acuna or Molina, depending on which one I could fit. I think Molina will be easier to fit. I think he's cheaper, or they might be the same price now.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you. I don't really see. I think we're kind of like there's looking at a three-person Argentina stack seems like a pretty good option for tomorrow, and I think there's a pretty good chance that they absolutely romp. And is this a scenario now that we're getting down to 2-game slates as well, where you can maybe you can take someone off the bench like a forward? I don't know if this is the slate for it, but is there anyone that you're like, okay, if they don't start, I might take a flyer on it? Is it like an Angel Di Maria? It's probably too pricey for that, right?
I think when you start getting to like the 150 maxes in showdowns, like if the contest size, and I don't know what the full size of the off the top of my head of the DraftKings 2-game one is, but if you're running only like 60 lineups, I think that's getting too crazy. I mean, only for this slate, because this slate is, you can get different enough by only taking one Netherlands guy or only taking two Argentina guys, and Julian Alvarez and Messi, or Messi and Martinez, or Alvarez and Martinez. Right there alone, you're getting different, and then they can be the ones that brace, and then you start seeing the other guys get pulled. So
right.
You already have leverage that way. If you take more U.S. players than the Netherlands players, that's already leverage. I don't think you have to start pulling people off the bench. I will say in the showdown, it does make sense to me. Like if you say take some lineups, you have Martinez, some lineups you have Alvarez, and then maybe like a 2%, 3%, you do Angel Di Maria instead of Martinez, or Angel Di Maria instead of Alvarez, or Monteith as the wing back instead of Molina.
Right.
That's kind of pretty much the only ones I would focus on if I were gonna make any substitution. I think Monteith and Angel Di Maria are the only ones realistically like that I could trust that come on for either game script
Any
for
substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, cool. Let's wrap it up here. Just give me your quick thoughts on showdown slates. 5-1 Argentina, is that pretty much the go-to here?
Yeah, it's going to be the go-to. And real quick, I don't have to tell anybody anything new. Messi and Martinez, or Messi and Alvarez, or Messi, Martinez, and Alvarez, those three are going to eat up all the ownership. The only way I could say that I'm fine with whatever ownership those three come in at, but if you're running limited lineups, Emiliano Martinez, he has the floor at least for a captain, and does save you a lot of salary to fit two of those, or either Molina or Marcus Acuna, because they have that clean sheet bonus, which will be worth 4.5 points instead of 3 points, and they do have the crossing volume from the wingback spots. When they push up, you can try to get the upside of an assist as well.
Perfect. That's going to do it for us. We'll be back for Sunday's matches: France, Poland, England, Senegal. Hopefully, we see some favorites win here, because if they do, then we're going to get some nice matches in the quarters and the semis. We could see Spain and Portugal in the round of 8. We could see Brazil, Argentina in the semis, and we could see England versus France in the final 8 as well. So, fingers crossed, some favorites win, except for Team USA. Go bet on Team USA. $200 free. No brainer from BetMGM. That offer expires on Sunday, so take advantage of it now. And thanks to our sponsor, No House Advantage, as well. 50 free bucks over there when you click the link. And we are out of here, Jovanni.
Thank you, guys.
See you tomorrow.